Drew Doughty should be interviewed all the time.
Wow! Yes! How did it take us so long to get to this?
Craig Custance,
Can you get accused of tampering with yourself? What is he thinking?
So let's start with...
First of all, I can't wait for the arrest of Craig Custance.
How did he do that?
Who clearly pumped Drew Doughty full of drugs and got him to say all these wacky things about how he's definitely trying to become a Leaf.
Imagine Drew Doughty. First off, I think you guys missed an opportunity by not asking Drew Doughty these questions a little bit more directly.
We should have just been like, so, you want to be a Leaf? We did ask him about playing on the Leafs.
And didn't he answer pretty honestly?
Why wouldn't we have just asked him?
Hey, so Drew, what number are you going to wear next year
with
when
the
you're
Leafs?
on the Leafs?
I don't...
So let's read through this. There's a lot to process here. So first off,
I feel like we wouldn't have had to try that hard.
Yeah, why did that come up?
Ah, man, we're asking about
honestly
chips.
It's like Craig Custance sat down beside him and said, "So Drew, how's life?" And just went, "Bleh." Eric, it just was like, "Bleh." All this information.
Can we get the phones figured out, by the way? Because Craig wants to come on this show.
Yeah, we
can.
And
now we can ask him about it.
Yeah, that interview I'm really interested in. We'll
Craig,
have to have headphones on for that.
How did you do that?
Just tell us the day before and we'll set it up.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
2019 is the big free agency thing. You've got Erik Karlsson, Drew Doughty, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson up. So I'm going to read directly from the article. Erik Karlsson is the other big name on defense who will be up for an extension this summer and free in 2019.
Coming off season.
This 2018 is when you can sign the extension. 2019 is when their contracts actually expire.
So 2019 is the free agency.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I for sure know it is.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was this year.
No,
So
it's not.
Not this year.
So all three of those guys.
Sorry.
All three of those guys up in 2019, but they can negotiate as of July and sign as of July this year. Arizona's Oliver Ekman-Larsson is the third defenseman in the franchise defenseman triumvirate that's up that year. After that, it's interesting with names like Winnipeg's Tyler Myers, New York's Ryan McDonough, and Nashville's Ryan Ellis, part of the second tier. Not a bad second tier.
Enormous names. Wow.
So here's what Drew Doughty had to say, and I love this. I think this is so smart because this is a perspective that you would expect, but you've never heard.
This is just the living embodiment of that gif of Seinfeld having a cigar with his feet kicked up, and they're just putting bills in front of him.
Well, here's what he said. I know I'm going to talk to Karlsson back and forth, see what kind of money he's looking for. I'll kind of look at what money I'm looking for. I don't know if he's going to re-sign with Ottawa. I don't know if I'm going to re-sign with LA. You just never know what's going to happen.
Fair enough.
That's a fair question.
But no one who's not seriously considering leaving the team he's with says that. I mean, that's just open and honest and true. But nobody, especially in hockey, like hockey, the most reserved, I'm not going to tell you anything interesting ever sport, which we did talk to him about. Mm-hmm. No one who's not thinking about leaving their team would say that.
It goes on.
It does, doesn't it?
Craig says the actual highest salary being paid to a defenseman right now is Shea Weber with Montreal, $12 million. Nashville's PK Subban contract carries the highest annual cap hit at $9 million. And then this is where it gets into a Doughty quote. Right now, I guess we'd be gauging off of what PK makes. I think both of us deserve quite a bit more than that. Now, I don't think that's a swipe at PK.
No.
I think it's just where they're at caliber-wise, being honest.
Yeah, I saw a few people say, Drew threw PK under the bus.
No.
For what? Making a lot of money? For being...
Not everything is a snipe, everybody.
No, that was just him going, well...
If PK makes this, I should be making more. He thinks he's better.
It's him gassing himself up, for sure. Well, the defenseman with the highest cap hit is this guy, and I think I should be making more than that.
Fair. The reason I don't think that was a big deal is because everyone kind of accepts it. PK might have an issue with it, but, whatever. He says they'll essentially be carrying the torch for defensemen moving forward, and Doughty says, yeah, I'm fine to carry that. As in, like, the same way Mike Babcock did it for coaches.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's serious there, but, he's also... That's a quip. He's joking. Yeah, I'll carry the burden of being highly paid.
Yeah, I'll carry that. That'll be okay.
Oh, no.
Doughty said this about the Leafs. Growing up, watching them every single time, it is hard to say you'd never want to play for the Leafs. It doesn't hurt that Mike Babcock loves Doughty, and Doughty knows it. He says, oh, fuck yeah, Babs. I like Babs, too. Doughty said his enthusiasm for the coach is apparent. He's put full trust in me since I was 19 years old at the Olympics. He was 19 at the Olympics.
He was one of their best players. I saw him.
I remember. I'll never forget. I showed up at the Olympics, and he said, Douts, you're going to start off as our 7th D. The better you play, the more you're going to play. I ended up playing the 3rd or 4th most minutes. He trusted me from day one. He still has trust in me. Now, This is where it gets super interesting. Doughty still has a place in London, Ontario, and pointed out it's only 2 hours away from Detroit. Sorry, and when it's pointed out that it's only 2 hours away from Detroit, Doughty played Tuesday night there. The Red Wings are another team that will make a big push for Doughty if he does shake loose. Part of, and this is the first I've heard of this, part of the Red Wings' strategy, Kenny Holland's strategy, is to land elite talent through free agency in the next couple years. So Doughty and Karlsson would be their biggest target. So
Kind of has to.
Kind of has to. Isn't that interesting, though? Now we kind of know how Detroit plans on building a little bit. One agent who doesn't represent any of these three big defensemen set the odds for us. And this is directly from Craig Custance. He says, if I'm going to lay the odds, Ekman-Larsson is 99.9% in a different uniform no later than July 1st, 2019. And probably sooner than that. Drew Doughty is 75% a lifetime Los Angeles King. The big question is Karlsson.
75%. Well,
What does that mean?
how as bad are the odds for Doughty?
The percentage thing is a little weird, but the rest of it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It just sounds like
the dumbest quote was from an agent.
Well,
would've
hold on,
thought?
though.
I would
Hold
not
on, though.
have thought.
That I don't think that's as dumb as you guys think it is.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's weird to characterize something by a percentage of how likely.
I would say that he heard and has heard from several people through insider sources that Oliver Ekman-Larsson's really unhappy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
what I
different.
That's
here's
what
what
I
I
would
took
say.
from that, and he should have worded it this way.
Yeah.
Ekman-Larsson is likely leaving, and you can derive that he is unhappy. Doughty is probably staying with the Kings, but maybe not.
It wouldn't shock me.
I don't have a read.
Yeah, and the
Wow.
thing with
That
Oliver
was a lot
Ekman-Larsson,
more eloquent than 75%.
yeah.
Thank you. No one has ever said that before, so I'll just tuck that in.
The thing about Oliver Ekman-Larsson that's interesting, and here's why I feel like that quote has some credence, is they have his brother, they brought his brother in to play with the Roadrunners, and they brought his buddy Chalmerson in from Chicago
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stops
to
because
try to keep him.
he's unhappy probably.
So they know.
John Shannon pointed out that this is a team that had to take on dead salary just to get to the floor. And if OEL thinks he's going to get like $10 million and then they're going to build a team around him, like he shouldn't expect that. They don't have the money to. This franchise just doesn't have money. So I don't know how he could want to stay.
Can the Arizona Coyotes ever, at any point in their franchise's existence, compete for a Stanley Cup?
Well, they have. They've gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals. Western Conference.
That would be fantastic.
Wow, that would be
That
impressive.
would be more impressive than
They
getting to the
switched
Stanley Cup
fucking
final.
conferences.
They CFL'd it.
Screw it. They win the cup on a rouge.
Oh, you missed that shot? We'll give you 1 point.
1 point.
Because they couldn't get it out of the zone. 1 point.
What?
Goal.
What? Yeah. Just count. Just count.
That's true.
No, like, okay, if you draft spectacular talent, you develop the spectacular talent. The talent becomes one of the best players in the league, and then you can't re-sign them, and it's just a vicious cycle of that continuously. If you're lucky, because you got to do all the first parts.
Which is
How do you
very
com-
hard.
How do you compete for a cup? How on earth?
That's why-
Let's say they hit with Strome, which is a maybe. It looks like they hit with Keller. That's not really a maybe.
No.
Let's say they hit with the Vorak. Let's say they
Lawson
hit
Krause,
with
Dylan Strome.
Krause. I already said Strome,
Oh,
but
you
let's
did.
say it again for the people in the back. How do they Max Domi? They hit with him.
Anthony Duclair.
Anthony Duclair. Oh, what if that revives? You know, what if all of a sudden it's hat-trick Duclair again? Who actually got a recent hat-trick. I was thinking about the Rangers hat-trick.
Would he be-
Why do I still remember that?
I don't know, man. I don't
Anyway.
know. I don't.
Like, you got to hit with everything. Like, you can't even be mediocre. And then
That's
it's like, it's so many of the things you hit with by the end of the season might have expired. What if they end up hitting with Ranta and then they price themselves out of having Ranta? Like, what do they do? How do you ever compete for a cup?
That's why to me.
I'm
It's-
not dumping on them. I feel for fans. Like, imagine the optimism you need to have to be a Leafs fan and be like, they're going to win the cup.
Poor
They're the
Coyotes
richest
fans.
team in the league by far. They can spend kooky amounts of money. What's the cap? Cool. They're going to spend that every single year. The Coyotes are struggling to even hit the floor.
Right, and that's brings up the whole thing about the hilarious conversation that Calgary Flames management meeting with Houston or Houston meeting with Bettman or whatever. To
Arizona.
me, Arizona to
Fine.
Houston, and I'm sorry, Coyotes fans. I know I'm going to hear from you. To me, if you're going to move a team, that is the team.
And they're not going to, so you don't. Well, Carolina.
They just sold.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
okay, so
the sale's confirmed.
So that was funny. I saw Kermanos. I saw his picture on Twitter. I saw something Hurricanes, but it was all in French.
Yeah, it's out. He's gone.
Interesting.
I don't know if his son is still suing him, though. That I would like to follow up on.
Maybe.
For $100 million.